Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something that's absolutely critical for success in, well, just about anything, self-confidence. But here's the twist. We're going to look at it in a whole new way. Not as some magical trait you're born with, but as a skill, something you can actually build. Let's get into it.
Okay, so picture this. You're a parent, and your kid is a really promising athlete. So you go to a top coach, someone like Dr. Ivan Joseph, and you ask him this very question. What do you think he's really looking for?
Is it just pure speed? You know, the ability to leave everyone else in the dust? A lot of parents guess that. But nope, that's not it.
Well, what about vision then? That tactical smarts to see the whole field and know what's going to happen next. A great quality for sure, but still, not the most important one.
Okay, fine. It must be pure, God-given talent, right? A natural gift? No. According to Dr. Joseph, all of these things are secondary.
The number one thing he looks for? Self-confidence. He says without it, an athlete is basically useless. Why? Because the moment you lose belief in yourself, the game is already over. That right there is the real game changer.
And that brings us to the biggest idea of this whole explainer. We have to completely reframe how we think about confidence. It's not something that some people just get and others don't. It's not a gift.
So what are we really talking about here? This is Dr. Joseph's definition. It's that rock-solid belief that you can get the job done, no matter what. It's a conviction that doesn't waver when things get hard.
And this is the key. As Dr. Joseph says, I use the word skill intentionally because I believe it can be trained. Just let that sink in. If it's a skill, just like playing the guitar or learning to code, it means anyone can develop it. You just need to practice.
So if it's a skill, the obvious next question is, how do we train it? Let's get into the practical tools for building that belief from the inside out.
The first tool is practice, but with a really important difference. Repetition is just doing the reps, but persistence, that's getting back up and doing the reps after you've failed, after you've been knocked down. That's where true confidence is actually built.
I mean, think about Thomas Edison. He didn't just repeat an experiment a few times. He persisted through something like 10,000 failures to invent the light bulb. Can you imagine the self-belief it takes to keep going after attempt number 9,000? That's not repetition, that's persistence on a whole other level. Or what about J.K. Rowling? 12 different publishers told her no. Let's be real, most of us would have given up after 3 or 4 rejections, but she persisted because she believed in her story when nobody else did. This is how confidence leads to incredible things.
All right, the next tool is about mastering that voice inside your head, your self-talk. Listen, there are enough people in the world who will tell you that you can't do it, you don't need to join them. You've got to take control of that inner narrator. That means creating your own personal affirmation, writing yourself a letter to read when you feel down, and, this is a big one, staying away from people who tear you down.
And these aren't just empty words. Muhammad Ali said, "I am the greatest," so many times that he believed it, and then he made the whole world believe it. Dr. Joseph uses his speeches to remind himself that he's the one in control. You have to find the words that work for you and repeat them until they become your truth.
Okay, so we've covered how to build our own confidence, but what about building it in other people? As a leader, a parent, a teammate, this is just as important.
The technique is unbelievably simple, but we almost always get it backward. Our instinct is to point out what's wrong, to fix the mistakes. The better way? You have to actively look for moments when people are doing things right and praise that specific action.
So why does this work so much better? Well, because when we only focus on what's wrong, we crush the other person's confidence. They get demoralized, they get defensive, and learning pretty much stops. We think we're helping, but we're really just tearing them down.
And hey, there's actually data on this. Look at this study with the Kansas basketball team. When the coaches focused on correcting mistakes, the team's performance improved by about 30%. But when they ignored the mistakes and only showed the players videos of them doing things perfectly, performance shot up by 80%. It just goes to show you highlighting success is a way more powerful way to teach.
This brings us to our last idea, and honestly, it might be the most powerful one. Self-confident people don't just act differently, they literally interpret the world differently. So Dr. Joseph tells this hilarious story about trying to ask out the woman who would become his wife. After getting rejected a bunch, he had a friend ask for him. This was the exact message that came back. Now, for most of us, that's a hard no. That's the end of the line, right?
But his interpretation was basically, so, you're telling me there's a chance? He chose to hear the one tiny microscopic sliver of possibility instead of the mountain of rejection. That is the mindset of someone with bulletproof self-belief. They find a way to interpret feedback that fuels them, not defeats them.
And really, that's the bottom line. It all boils down to this. No one is going to believe in you unless you do first. It has to start with you. You have to be your own biggest fan. So I'll leave you with this question. Confidence is a skill. It's built with persistence, with positive self-talk, and by choosing to believe. So what is the one belief about yourself, about your abilities, that you're going to start training relentlessly, starting today?